Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be about what oil to use in your 6.0 Powerstroke, as you see right here. So basically I'm going to go over what type of oil to use, whether you need an oil additive if you're having stiction for your fuel injectors, what mileage to change your oil at, what tools you need, and how to do the oil change. I'm going to go over the Wix Oil Filter, which a lot of people use, which isn't bad, but you got to make sure that you always use that Wix Oil Filter. Now, if you have the Wix Oil Filter, it comes with a cap. The cap is longer than your original cap that comes on your 6.0 Powerstroke. So a lot of people get that confused and put a regular filter in, which will not filter your oil because the cap is taller. I'll explain that in depth later on into the video. Okay, so we're gonna go over the type of oil that I use. Now, I use 5W40. Now, I'm in Connecticut, so we get coldish winters down to like sometimes negative 10, 15, a couple days in a row, things like that. And then we have hot summers. So I always use 5W40. It works good for me. I recommend that to my customers. Now, for oil type, I always use AMSoil and I always use synthetic. Now you can do Schaefer. Schaefer's is just as good as AMSoil. I choose AMSoil over Schaefer's. I've been using AMSoil for years. You can also use, not a bad oil. A lot of people knock on it, which is you can get it at like Walmart or anything like that. It's the T6 or T5 by Rotella. Now that synthetic is not bad oil, but now you gotta watch out. If you go to upgrade your truck, get bigger injectors, 190 over 30, 190 over 60, 175 30. If you go to upgrade those injectors, you get them from Warren Diesel. Now they don't allow you, it'll void your warranty if you use the T6 or T5 synthetic from Rotella. So they want you to use a quality oil like Schaefer's or AMSoil. That's just something to keep in mind. So for the AMSoil shipped to my house with the oil filter, the same as stock number, they send you the same number oil filter as OEM. So it's your filter. Those are the numbers. You guys can see. Okay, now shipped to my house, it's not bad. Now Connecticut has an extra sales tax for oil. Don't tell me why. I don't understand that. So you guys, it might be cheaper if you don't live in Connecticut. But $159.91 shipped to my door with the oil filter. Don't got to go out. Don't got to do any of that stuff. So it's a no-brainer for me. And you basically get, I get 4 of these 1 gallon. So there's 4 quarts in a gallon. So 4 times 4 is 16. So basically, that's how many quarts of oil that you get. Now what I do when I fill out this sticker right here, I always get these. Now for next service mile day, I always put the 2 wrench size so I don't forget. So 19 millimeter is the oil pan, and 1 3/8 is the filter for the factory filter. Then I'll put the weight. See, T6 was used in this before, in the mileage. So, okay, so we're gonna talk about an oil additive friction modifier. Now, if you use a quality oil like AMSoil or Schaefer's synthetic, you don't really have to use your oil additive friction modifier or whatever. Some people will, some people don't, depending on how old your injectors are, how many miles. If you have a older truck over 150,000 miles on it, and you think the injectors are stock, it's not going to hurt to throw this arch oil in. This is the only thing I recommend to my customers is arch oil. Now you can have hot shot and all that other stuff. I've heard bad things about it. I've never used it. Now arch oil, I swear by, it's manufactured right in Connecticut. The AR9100 friction modifier, basically it's designed for the 6.0 and 7.3 Powerstroke engines. Now, if you guys don't know what kind of fuel injectors you have or the history behind them, it's a Huey style fuel injector. So basically it uses oil pressure to shoot the fuel down into the cylinder. Now, it's very important to have clean oil on these vehicles. So I recommend also to my customers, every 6,000 miles max, do an oil change. Keep your oil clean, make your truck happy. Okay, so this is the Wix filter from Napa. Now it comes with the cap, the O-ring, and the filter, okay? Now see how tall this cap is compared to that cap? That's the factory cap. So now what happens is people don't buy this whole setup. When they're new to the Powerstroke, what they do is they keep this cap on thinking it's factory, but they need to buy the Wix filter. And what they end up doing is buying the OEM filter, okay, and putting it in like this, like so, okay? And then when you come and match this up like that, you see how much shorter it is, and this isn't even snapped in. Now if I snap that in, which, there we go. Ooh. So say I snap that in, I come over, now look at this. You see the difference? So that does not filter your oil. So you need stock factory OEM cap with OEM filter. That's why you don't want to use the Wix, okay? If you use the Wix, a lot of people not knowing this, put the OEM filter in, and it doesn't circulate and clean your oil and filter your oil. That's the reason why people don't like these. You see this big cap on here? Just go to the Ford dealership and get an OEM cap, an OEM filter while you're there. Also the difference between filters, we'll stand them up. See the difference? Just to let you guys know, Wix OEM, that's why it has a taller cap, it's a taller filter. So you put this OEM filter in with the taller cap, it's not going to circulate, filter your oil correctly. All right guys, I just want to note, don't forget to take your old O-ring off, okay? So I'll do this left-handed. Bear with me. Kind of hard to do it in video at the same time. So let's go like this. Take it off. Now when you put the new one on, make sure you lubricate the O-ring with some oil, new oil, old oil, doesn't matter, just so it doesn't chafe. So it doesn't chafe. All right, that one's on. You can take some old oil from the cap with your finger, lubricate it. All right, so now we're gonna come over here. What I do is I got this 5-gallon pail, an old one. I just cut the top off of it so it can fit under my steering of the truck. See how it fits under? Now that right there will hold your 14 quarts, but it's gonna be full, so just expect that. If you guys don't already have one, I suggest you get a magnet drain plug just to see what's happening. Very, very little metal shavings on here, which is a good thing. So like I said, it gets pretty full. Just be careful not to spill anything. All right, so what I use is this big red funnel and just pour it in. So basically just pour your 14 quarts in, start it up, check it, and add till full. All right guys, hopefully this video helped. And please like and subscribe so I can keep making these videos. Thank you.